Rachael Ray is American for Jamie Oliver.
That looks like shit. Look at how anemic that looks. It's just not
I have to
not
put
right.
my leg down from chair. I'm so upset.
Excuse me. It's just vomiting in my mouth a little bit. Chef Brian Tsao here, not your typical chef, and today I'm going to be reacting to Uncle Roger found the worst pho, Rachael Ray. If you're new to the channel, I am a professional chef with 17 years of experience. I've defeated Bobby Flay on the Food Network show, beat Bobby Flay, as well as run the world-renowned kitchen of the restaurant Beauty in Essex right here in New York City. Shout out to Barricane on TikTok for suggesting this video. This is one I have not yet seen. So let's see how angry I get by the end of it. Quick reminder, today is the last day you can enter yourself in for a chance to win this official Chef Brian Tsao cutting board. All you have to do is like, subscribe, and comment below. And if you're already subscribed, well, 1/3 of the work was done already. This contest officially closes February 28th, and the winner will be announced on the next episode. And without further delay, let's get started, shall we?
I also have a bunch of cilantro.
If you don't know, cilantro is American for coriander.
Yes, that is correct. In the UK, they call cilantro coriander. In the States, when we say coriander, we're typically referring to the dried spice coriander, whether it's whole coriander or ground coriander, but it all comes from cilantro.
Rachael Ray is American for Jamie Oliver. New Asian dish. This time we review American chef Rachael Ray making pho. Pho is Vietnamese national dish. Vietnamese niece and nephew also part of it. Hope she don't mess it up.
I hope so too.
Noodle.
I do want to mention that I am not very well versed in Vietnamese cuisine. I do eat it regularly, but that does not make me an expert by any means. I'm going to defer to one of my closest friends' wives who is Vietnamese, and she's basically the one that told me everything I know about pho cookery. Let's see how Rachael does, and I can tell you right now, that meat is cut way too thick. This does not look promising at all.
A base stock of anything we want.
Wait.
Base stock of anything we want.
No, it's not anything you
just
want.
Use anything you want. How many seconds? 8 seconds. She say wrong thing already. Uncle Roger predict this not gonna go well.
Yeah,
Really
I don't think
great
so either.
pho
It's
is-
not. This is not like a soup where you can take all your scraps and just put everything in. Yeah, I guess to an extent, but it is no. When you make pho broth, there are certain key ingredients you need to stick with, and you just can't dump all the shit in there, okay? Pho is not shit soup.
Bones roasted and slow cooked with great aromatics.
Oh, that correct. Maybe it won't be this bad because she seemed to know what she's talking about. But this niece Rachael look like kind of woman who own many live, laugh, love sign.
Slow cooked with great aromatics, and that's your base. The cheater can do what we're gonna do right now.
Don't cheat. This food, not marriage.
no,
This recipe for cheater.
Pho is one of those things that you cannot cheat. It takes time and love to prepare, and you cannot just cheat and, ugh. All right, let's keep watching.
Fortified broth. I am literally defrosting beef stock because
What is this?
I am literally defrosting beef stock.
What? Beef stock. Pho broth supposed to...
Okay, if this is a Western beef stock, typical Western style stock or a French style stock will comprise of bones, whatever animal it's from. It could be fish, chicken, beef, veal, as long as it's made from bones. Remember, stock is made from bones, broth is made from meat. If it's a Western style stock that she's starting with, we're already off to a bad start. Number one, a Western style stock has mirepoix in it. Mirepoix is a trinity of onion, carrot, and celery. It's not a trinity because then you put a sachet or a cheesecloth with some black peppercorn, garlic, and a bay leaf. That is, and along with the bones, that is the basis of your stock. And I don't know if you've smelt carrot, onions, and celery, but they have very distinct aromas, and particularly the carrot and the celery do not belong in a pho broth.
Transparent. Why your broth
Yeah.
look like gravy?
That's another thing. So she's using pre-made beef stock, and it's very cloudy. A nice pho broth is not cloudy. It's maybe slightly opaque, but pretty much clear and very clean tasting.
Whole dish already messed up.
Yeah, it's
No
already
way
fucked
you
up.
can make
I
that
agree.
Clean.
And all I did was take an entire bulb of garlic.
Garlic raw.
Okay.
Asian people, we like garlic. But just because Uncle Roger like it doesn't mean I should put in pot. Otherwise, I'm gonna cook Nigella Lawson. Pho broth, just onion and ginger to start. Garlic gonna
Okay, I don't remember. I was about to say, okay, garlic, and she roasted it. So I do agree. There is ginger and onion in pho broth, and you roast it. So at least you can see the behind the garlic. Let's keep watching.
whole broth wrong.
I'm pretty sure we'll get a better shot of the onion
Also, who cut
after
garlic like that?
Uncle Roger
You want to
vents.
throw whole bulb of garlic in? Just throw whole bulb. Why the half-ass chopping? What for?
Trim the end.
I don't necessarily agree with that. She chopped it open, she roasted it so the garlic itself gets the caramelization in the roasting process. That's going to increase your depth of flavor. I'm really trying to remember if my friend Alice, her name's Alice, if she puts garlic in hers or not. Again, I'm not well versed in Vietnamese cuisine, but definitely the ginger and the onions, and you can see a much better shot of the onions. They've been roasted. Great. You want to roast it to increase your depth of flavor. You're cooking out some of the moisture, and it's therefore going to concentrate the flavor.
A good chunk of ginger.
Ginger, correct.
Peeled it.
Okay.
An onion. All I did was,
Onion, correct.
that's it. With the root ended,
And she char it, that correct too.
charred it, and I'm sliding it in. So now the broth, vegetable, beef, chicken, seafood, doesn't matter.
No, it does matter. Okay. The most popular type of pho is with beef bones. That is definitely hands down the most popular. I've had chicken pho on many occasions where it's basically the same preparation except done with chicken. I haven't heard of fish pho. In fact, I've never heard of that before. So no, Rachel, you can't just use anything.
You can't just put random shit in it.
The signature flavors of the broth in this Vietnamese dish. Again, we're taking a bunch of shortcuts here.
No. Why so many shortcut? Is she sponsored by Waze?
Again, we're taking a bunch of shortcuts here.
Also, this not shortcut. Shortcuts still bring you to correct destination. This whole recipe wrong already. You follow this shortcut, you're gonna end up in ocean.
Instead of using cheesecloth, I literally use a loose tea bag
Okay, smart.
That's cool.
Saving money.
Yeah.
and I put in a
Hey, not necessarily saving money, but I think that's clever. I think cheesecloth is definitely cheaper than one of those empty tea bags, but she's
Stick of
putting cinnamon in there.
Cinnamon, correct.
Okay.
one fresh bay leaf.
Bay
What?
leaf. Okay.
One fresh bay leaf.
Bay leaf.
Uncle Roger's starting to throw a fit. I don't think bay leaf is out of the question in this case. I know that there definitely needs to be star anise, and if I'm remembering correctly, cardamom, specifically cardamom pod. Let's see. Well, okay, so the reason why I think the bay leaf makes sense is because Vietnam had a long French occupation. So there's actually a lot of French culinary influence in Vietnamese cuisine. The exact dates and the history and stuff like that, I don't recall. I don't know. But, things like pâtés, coffee, baguettes, these are all things that are influences of the French occupation. And bay leaf is very commonly used in French cuisine. So I would not be surprised if a good pho broth recipe contained bay leaf.
Bay leaf don't even grow in Vietnam. Why? Who put bay leaf?
I don't know if that's
in
factual
pho?
or not.
In Vietnam, nobody import bay leaf to put in pho. What?
No, I don't. That's Southeast Asia, and like Indian cuisine uses a lot of bay leaf. That's not exactly Southeast Asia, but come on, the bay leaf gets around.
Doing? Is she gonna add chili jam later? Hiya.
White
Fuck
and
that
black
chili
peppercorn.
jam.
Peppercorn wrong again.
Yeah.
So random.
no.
A few star anise.
Okay, star
Okay,
anise,
star anise,
definitely.
correct.
3
Okay.
pods of cardamom.
Cardamom,
Cardamom.
correct?
And then I'm
Okay,
going to take
great.
the shoelaces,
Wait, that all?
tie them onto the side of the pot.
That's some
She
fancy
missing
ass
so
tea
many
bag.
things. Clove, coriander seed,
Did she
fennel,
put clove in there? No. He's just naming off
fish
shit.
sauce, MSG. Like, where your MSG? Why you don't use MSG? You already messed up. At least MSG save a little bit. In Vietnam street food store, they just put MSG on table. Use it like salt and pepper. Never kill anyone yet, so don't be pussy. Eat your MSG.
Yeah, I mentioned in the last React video I did for Uncle Roger, MSG is a natural occurring thing. It can be found in tomatoes, in mushrooms, in soy sauce. This is something that can be found in nature. With that said, though, just like anything, too much of anything is not good for you. And especially with MSG, if you're not used to it, you can experience certain things like headache. And, I remember once I had a hard time sleeping when I ate this massive Chinese dinner, and I typically don't consume much MSG, so I definitely felt it that night. But a lot of your favorite junk foods, especially things like Pringles and Doritos, that shit's coated in MSG, bro. Okay? So you're probably more used to it than you know.
MSG give them headache, and Uncle Roger say, good food worth getting headache for. King of flavor.
You know what? Amen, brother. Amen.
If you headache, why so weak? So weak.
All right, I guess I'm one of those weak-ass mofos.
Uncle Roger still can't get over why the broth so dirty. Squid Game should have one game where they ask people to make clean broth. Contestants should be niece Rachel and nephew Nick. They both gonna die.
Tie them onto the side of the pot. Today I use the small steaks.
What?
Here, they're little sirloins.
Is that the meat for pho?
Today I use these small steaks.
Hire that beef so...
I don't know what cut of beef that they use for pho. However, I am pretty damn sure it ain't strip steak. Typically, I think it's is it chuck or brisket? Anyway, it's a tougher cut of meat. It's definitely ain't strip steak, and I would not recommend it. Also, this steak has been cut really thick, definitely done by hand. If you were just making steak for cutting steak for a stir fry, sure, that would be fine. But for pho, you take the meat, you freeze it, and then you slice it super thin so that when that protein hits the hot broth, it cooks instantly. Or it's basically just cooked by the time the bowl reaches the customer. Many things wrong with this. You don't want to use strip steak, and you also don't want to cut the protein by hand so thick because it's not going to cook through, and boiled steak is not exactly delicious.
Uncle Roger must be seeing wrong. That cannot be the beef for pho.
Today I use
That beef too thick for pho.
Too thick.
Have you seen pho, Miss Rachel? Beef in pho should be...
There we go. Okay, cool. So, all right, I think like I said, I'm very confident in saying it was something like chuck or top round. I think it's chuck and or top round, not brisket. Brisket's going to be way too fatty. I'm very confident in saying that because I mentioned in which video was it? Oh gosh. Actually, that video didn't come out yet, but I talk about the muscular fiber structure, and typically the big, thick fibers come from a tougher cut of meat because that meat comes from a part of the animal that's been worked a lot. So then the muscle fibers are much thicker. That's a telltale sign. So if you really look closely to something like a filet mignon or a strip steak, number one, they cut it against the grain. So if you take this strip steak and look at it like this, you can see the muscle fibers are really small. But if you look at this photo here, you can see how thick those muscle fibers are. So that's one way to tell.
But then, because you cook just by pouring broth on it, but
There you
this
go.
beef
Whoops,
thicker
spot on.
than Lizzo. How to eat? How to eat?
And simply pick. Do not chop. Pick. Thai basil and Thai mint is what I have.
Pick or chop, both fine. That's not even your problem.
I would agree not to chop it. Once you chop it, something like mint and basil will wilt. Also, every time I've gone to a Vietnamese restaurant to have pho, they will actually give you a plate with the basil. I don't recall seeing mint on there, but always basil, bean sprouts, and lime. And the basil, the Thai basil specifically, is always on the stem still, and you have to pick it yourself.
Buy Thai basil and Thai mint. Guess what you can buy?
No.
Mint and Italian basil.
No. Cannot replace Thai stuff with
If you can't get it, what choice do you have?
Italian stuff. They both don't taste same. If you cannot
They definitely
buy Thai
don't taste the
basil,
same.
then just
I
don't
agree
make
with
pho.
that.
Go support your local
Thai
Vietnamese
basil
restaurant. Eat your
is
pho there.
sweeter,
If you don't live near
and
good
it's
Vietnamese
not
restaurant,
as
then move
aromatic,
to
in my
better
opinion.
city. Get some culture.
Thai basil
Even
is also,
Cowboy
I
can
feel like
get
it has a
sushi in
little
middle of
bit
nowhere.
more
Guess what my favorite
lemon
food
notes,
is? It is
citrus notes
sushi.
in it.
You got no
Very
excuse.
slightly.
Her cooking so bad.
But
see
if you
that?
have an
Even her
Asian
dog fuck off.
supermarket, they are definitely
I
going to
also
have
have a
Thai
bunch
basil.
of
Definitely.
cilantro.
Cilantro, correct.
Yeah,
If you don't
cilantro,
know,
okay.
cilantro is American for coriander. And Rachael Ray is American for Jamie Oliver.
I divided the
Bean sprout, correct.
Bean sprouts, yeah.
without the woody stems of Thai basil,
Chili, good too.
cilantro, and mint. I had in the fridge some.
I typically like to have my pho with Thai bird chili. These look like either Fresno's or long chilies. Those are good too. Not as spicy as a Thai bird chili though.
bean sprouts from the other day.
Good.
These beautiful, literally it says on the package, pho.
Okay, that pho look correct. At least she used right type of noodle. So slightly better than Jamie Oliver. He thinks soba and ramen same thing.
What? Jamie Oliver, what? No, soba and ramen are not the same thing. You just keep fucking up Asian food, don't you?
Rice noodles.
Okay, she cooking the noodle now.
Rice noodles.
This company says
Okay,
6
there's
minutes.
something very
let's
different
start
that
on the
you should be doing
rice.
with rice noodles, and that is to soak it in water first. That'll slightly hydrate it, and then when you're ready to cook, you take the hydrated noodles. They're hydrated, they're not cooked, and then you take these hydrated noodles and dunk it, and you only cook it momentarily. That'll give you that amazing, lack of a better term, al dente, to the tooth bite on the noodles. Some people don't like that. I personally do, but that I would have done very differently. Like I said, soak in cold water, and when I'm ready to cook, take out my portion and then boil it, and it'll be ready instantly,
Noodles.
almost instantly.
Okay, that correct time to use colander.
6 minutes per hour package direction. And I'm just gonna give them a quick
Rinsing with
rinse.
cold water, correct also. Good.
Making a little mess.
No, that's not enough. You have to leave it to dry first. Your noodle's still wet. Hiya.
Classic way to do this is to put the protein in the dish raw.
That correct. But your beef too thick.
Cover
Yes.
it or let it steep in a deep bowl. You would need a deeper bowl.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the bowl that she's planning to serve the pho in. I'm going to put my mouse cursor over it. But that bowl is very shallow. Typically, when you serve pho, it's going to be in a big soup bowl, a nice deep soup bowl. Couple things that does. Number one, if the bowl is very shallow, it's not going to retain its heat as much. And it's shallow, and this particular bowl has a very big, wide opening. That is going to cause the heat to dissipate faster. When you have a deeper bowl, more mass, you can still have that big opening on your bowl, and yes, it'll cool, but because you have the mass due to a deeper bowl, it will not cool down as quickly. And when you want to have pho, you want to have hot pho.
The way I think you're going to
Uh-oh. No.
I took out our aromatics.
No.
Fuck.
Don't tell. No.
Okay,
Put
and
the beef down. No.
all we have left.
She's gonna
Is
dunk
our
all
bag
that
of
shit
spice.
in there.
No.
fuck.
What she do?
She
What
just fucked that up
doing?
so bad. I
No.
mean, it already started fucked
That's not how you cook
with
beef
the
for
super thick
pho.
cut strip steak.
Uncle
I mean,
Roger, see this?
you are boiling a strip steak, for goodness sakes. That looks like shit. Look at how anemic that looks. It's just not
I have to
not
put
right.
my leg down from chair. I'm so upset.
Yeah, I'm not.
Beef supposed to just cook with the broth,
Barricane, thank
but
you for
not
suggesting
throw it
this
into
video.
the
You were not
broth.
kidding. This is a
You
car
do
crash
you're
that
gonna
I cannot
overcook the
look
beef.
away
You're
from.
gonna dirty up the broth, Miss Rachel.
You are going to dirty up the broth. So whenever you put raw protein into any liquid, it's going to what's going to happen? It's going to draw out moisture. It's going to draw out the blood, and it's going to cause your product to be more cloudy until you strain it, of course. However, making not concasse, what the hell? Damn, what's the name of that soup? Consomme, yes. If you make a consomme, you typically use ground meat, and then you mix it in along with egg white, I think, just egg white, not egg yolk. And then what happens is you mix it into your stock or broth, and then in the process of that meat coagulating, it's actually going to clear your stock, so you have a very clear, really beautiful looking product, but retain all that meat flavor. But that's not what she's doing here. She's just using chunks of steak, throwing it into the thing to cook into the pho broth, her pho broth, and cooking it. And she wouldn't have had to do that if she sliced the steak nice and thin.
Our ancestors
She's basically going to be
now.
serving
You're killing
boiled
the
strip
broth,
steak.
You're killing the beef. It all fucked.
Yeah, very disrespectful to that steak.
No way to save this now.
We have left is our bag of spice.
That is one of the worst
What I'm
pho
doing,
broths I've ever seen in my life.
Because it's going to continue to cook. Take the protein.
All right, carry over
and pile
cooking.
it
That's spot
top
on.
of
Throw this out, feed to your dog.
Okay.
Yeah, those are very shallow
the
bowls. That's a
beetroots.
lot. That's a lot of product in the bowl. It's a shallow bowl. All that stuff is sitting at room temp. You're going to put your hot broth. The bowl is shallow, so it's going to cause the broth to cool down. All your product is room temperature, and it's going to cause your soup to cool down. So this is going to be a lukewarm, boiled steak wannabe pho.
Overcooked. Look like rubber. What you doing, Miss Rachel?
They look like
Now
erasers.
we're gonna take the bowls and add the lime juice
Why? Lime
Why
cannot
now?
save this. Even Jesus giving up on this pho.
over our protein of choice.
No, you let
And
your
then
guests
what do
do
we
that.
do?
You let the
throw it out?
customer
Well,
do
of
that
course. These are
fresh.
beautiful fortified broth.
She say
No, that's not beautiful.
Well, of
That
course.
looks like
We use our
that looks
beautiful
like
fortified broth.
This broth look.
that looks like the that looks like the river from the Willy Wonka movie, the old one. Just
Like
wretched.
toilet water, whack or
Does look like
beautiful.
toilet
If you
water.
think this broth beautiful, I think your glasses don't work.
And I mean, go.
Go. What you mean go? You mean go home and cry? Because that's what Uncle Roger gonna do.
The herbs, the chilies, the bean sprouts.
The way this should be done is the herbs, the chilies, the bean sprouts, and the lime, not squeezed, is served on the side. And in the bowl, all you have is the noodles, some really thinly sliced onion, and your thinly sliced beef. And you put the hot broth over it. They bring that to you. Then they bring you a side plate with all those accoutrements that I just told you about. You don't put it all in the bowl together and then serve it. It's just no.
The noodle, everything.
This Karen just destroy pho. Uncle Roger's sad now. You just destroy Vietnam national dish.
Yeah.
I think another Vietnam war gonna happen.
You
This is
butchered that one
fucking
pretty bad.
Terrible.
Cover it or let it steep in a deep bowl. You would need a deeper bowl than this.
Yeah, Uncle Roger
Oh my God! So even she knows she needs a deeper bowl than
bowl
that.
too. Because I about to throw up.
Yeah, that was a freaking train wreck. You know, I'm trying to find something nice to say. I try to stay positive, but holy cow. If someone served me that and I was starving, sure. You know, if I was a house guest and someone served me that, like, hey, Brian, I made pho. All right, great. I'm not going to hate it, but definitely not authentic. Really poor execution. Wrong use of ingredients. Yes, there was some correct ingredients utilized in there, but overall just no bueno. No. So what am I going to grade this? Rachel, I'm sorry to say I'm giving this a negative 10. Yeah, you heard me. Negative 10. 1 out of 10, negative 10. Negative. Negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shout out to my patrons, especially the ones who joined on the sous chef level. Thank you so much for your generosity. If you enjoyed this show and want to support me further, be sure to visit the link in the description below. It'll take you to my Patreon page. And if you join, you get perks like discounts on my merch store, sneak peek on the next episodes, and a whole lot of other cool stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, because not only does it help me on the algorithm, but also for this month only, it'll enter you in for an opportunity to win this cutting board. Winner is selected on the next episode. Again, thanks for watching. I am Chef Brian Tsao, not your typical chef, and I'll see you really soon.